happiness isn't a destination reached by accumulating wealth or status or possession. True happiness is found in the balance between ambition and contentment. $7.95. That's it. But let me tell you, I felt like the richest man alive. Flashback to the end of 2013, I'm sitting at my dinner table and the first rays of sun are starting to come up over Palm Jumeirah in Dubai, and I'm about to have a hell of a morning. See, rewind 6 months, I'm in Sydney, my wife's 6 months pregnant, and what do? Well, I make the ballsy decision, maybe borderline crazy, of packing everything up, leaving everything familiar, and flying to Dubai. Just so I can meet one other acquaintance on the other side, or to actually start a new business. Really in the hopes for a new life for my soon-to-be bigger family. So, tick-tock, the clock's ticking, and I've got less than 12 weeks to be able to land in Dubai and to be able to set up my personal training business, to be able to make it rain, to be able to make some money. And so there's no pressure, right? I wish it wasn't. So I jet back to Sydney just in time for my wife, Lauren, which is the real hero of this story, which gives birth to our beautiful first daughter. Now, the struggles that we faced, the sweat, the tears, the emotions, that's our story etched in our memories. So I'm grinding away in Dubai, training clients from dawn till dusk, literally 6 days a week, and I burnt out. And I'd been there and I'd just gone too far, too hard, too fast, too much. But this time I knew that I couldn't play this game anymore because I wanted more. I wanted to be able to earn more money. I wanted to be able to have more freedom. I wanted to be able to help more people with the work that I love. As training clients face to face felt like golden handcuffs as a personal trainer. They were well paid, but a prison nonetheless that I felt. It's what I call the time for money trap now. So then Q2, back in that morning of 2013, I'm sitting at the dinner table about to hit send. And I remember clicking send on that email, which changed everything. See, my first online program offer that I was hitting send off, sending this out into the world, was priced at the humble $7.95. That it was packed with everything I knew about trying to get somebody into shape. And so Lauren was ready, our daughter was ready, and it was my one day off for the week, and we head out to our favorite cafe. And we get in the car and my phone starts to make a sound that I had never heard before. It was a cha-ching. Now, yes, this is irresponsible. I actually sneak peek at my phone whilst driving. And it was actually the PayPal app back at the time, and it was my first sale. And then cha-ching, another one, and then another one. And I'm making money while I'm driving to breakfast, while eating breakfast. Money's rolling in and I'm not even working. Now, here's the thing. We're always chasing more money, more status, more trophies. But when do we actually stop and ask what's enough? See, Epicurus, who nailed it, said, "He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing." Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we should just sit on our hands and accept whatever life tosses our way. Far from it. But it's about knowing what's in our control and what's not that's really important. Happiness is not something you find lying around. It's a job that you've got to do for yourself. But wait a minute here. I'm not one of those money can't buy happiness types. That's too simple, and I think it's actually a little bit naive. Think about it this way. Well, this is the way I think about it. We all want freedom, right? But why is it so elusive? Financial freedom is your ticket to real freedom. It's not about stacking cash for the heck of it. It's about using that dough to grow into your best self and then being able to spread the love. It's being on both ends of the spectrums for myself. I've been dead broke, crashing on sofas, heart racing over bills, but then now having financial freedom, I tell you what, the difference is night and day. More freedom, the more chances to actually give back. And our society is fixated on this endless race for more tech, more titles, more money, more. But here's the wild idea that I had. What if finding contentment was okay? What if it's actually being okay with what you've got and not always chasing more. Enough is not a universal measure. It's deeply personal, and it's not about capping your dreams. It's about valuing what's already in your grasp. Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius weren't clueless. They got it. Being content isn't about having it all. It's about wanting and cherishing what you do have, and that's where we can think memento mori, remembering death. Now, this might sound dark, a little bit glim, but it's a game-changing perspective, and it's a reminder to me to live with meaning and to cherish the now and to value what we actually have. Because when it's all said and done, this is what counts. Because picture yourself on your deathbed, what's really going to matter? I bet it won't be your bank balance or how many cars you had. It'll be the depth of your relationships, the peace within you, the simple joys that you actually found along the way. Now, this isn't just feel-good talk. It's about seeing the value of what we've already got. Now, pure Stoicism, finding worth in our present, not because it's perfect, but because it's ours, is an idea to take on. And if we want to thicken the plot, dare I even say, the whole idea that piling up more stuff and that equals more joy, that's going to be a big fat trap, because we're living in a culture that's hooked on that illusion that the next big purchase is our ticket to happiness, where in reality, it's not. This perpetual chase that keeps us running in circles, always wanting more, never quite content. It's like pouring hot water into a bucket with a hole. It's absolutely pointless. Happiness is about how much you own. It's about engaging deeply with what truly fulfills you. But hold on, I'm not slamming the door on ambition here, because that's something I don't want to pass along, and I don't believe. Ambition can be the rocket fuel to being able to propel and achieve amazing things. Yes. And this is a big but. It's got to be the right kind of ambition. We're talking goals that resonate with your core, that align with your true values, and that are not just stuff that looks shiny from the outside and then scores you more brownie points on what you think is going to be able to have people think better of you. It's about the ambition that nourishes your soul and not just inflates your ego. And when striking a balance between ambition and contentment is the thing that you're looking for, I know, for me, it feels like walking a tightrope. So needing a heavy dose of self-awareness and just brutal honesty for myself, I'm constantly asking myself, what are my goals really reflecting? What are they reflecting to my values? Are they aligning with who I want to be? Or am I just chasing what society tells me what I should want? And I feel like when I'm trying to get close to nailing this balance, I think you're in for a pretty sweet ride, because you can't pursue your dreams without losing sight of what really doesn't matter. That's the golden zone, where ambition meets satisfaction and you're not just stuck in a loop of wanting more and losing the sense of peace and tranquility and equanimity and joy and bliss that we could actually have in the here and now. We're giving up what we want to try and attain something that will not take us to where we want to go. So just a few years after that first online dollar in Dubai, I found myself in a cafe in Canggu in Bali. Life had taken a turn. We'd moved from Dubai to Bali, chasing the dreams of world travel, and honestly, to give me the leg room needed to be able to get my first online business off the ground. Now, Bali wasn't a postcard destination. It was our financial safety net to try and get this business off the ground. So there I was, beachside, when my phone pinged with a notification. Over $100,000 I had earned in a single month. And for a second, pride and amazement washed over me. I felt amazing. This was incredible. This would have been a goal that I had for such a long time. But then another thought crashed in, and it came swelling from the back of me into my head. And it was, how about making $1 million a month? I just earned $100,000 a month, and pretty much 2.3 seconds later, I'm now thinking, well, how good would it be doing $1 million a month? And that thought hovered over me for a moment, and then, very thankfully, another one came through to try and break through the absurdity. And I asked myself, Chris, what is really going to change if you hit that number? Have you subscribed? If not, this is the best time for you to subscribe, whether you're on the YouTube or on the podcast. Why? Because it would be a bummer if you missed out on everything that's to come, or don't subscribe if you're not actually getting much value out of this, because there is a zillion other things that you could be doing. So I'd rather you go and do that. The ball's in your court. And so there I was on a tropical beach with my family, sandy toes, literally sipping a cold coconut, and would running myself ragged, sacrificing time with my wife, with my daughters, be worth it? Is the relentless pursuit of growth for growth's sake nothing but a disease? The trap of material gain is a common one that I've run into many a time, and we run on this treadmill thinking each new toy, each new luxury, each new accolade is a ticket to our lasting joy. But our brains, they're sneaky little buggers, they play this game called hedonic adaptation. And see, we win or lose, and we return to our baseline of happiness. And that buzz from that new buy, that buzz from the, oh my, I just did 100 grand in a month, well, that fades away pretty damn fast. And that's now, I believe, for myself, what I've had to do is flip the script, where contentment isn't about missing pieces, about treasuring what you've got. It's finding richness, not in the things, but in the intangibles, the relationships, the experiences, the growth, the community, that deep sense of peace that I'm wanting. This is the shift in perspective where you find deeper, more resilient, a more longing, embodied, just more worthy happiness. Happiness just doesn't sway. I just don't, that word isn't landing for me, if I could be perfectly right. True joy, it's a different kind, and it's not a fleeting, and it's grounded in contentment, where I feel like happiness isn't. It's in the savoring of the simple moments. It's in the embracing of the now, even though the now can have warts and all attached to it. So how do we actually tap into this? There's mindfulness, living in the moment and savoring life's unfolding story with gratitude, which takes time, because for me, we want to be mindful and self-aware, but we need to have that investigation to be able to look and to be able to know, well, like, is this true, and is this right, and is this valuable, and is this actually best helping me? But then there's also reframing, which is understanding that success and happiness aren't just about what you've got, but it's about peace, love, and purpose. Then there's contentment, which is about how well your life aligns with your values, both personally and professionally. And it's not about stagnation, but about finding the peace, the satisfaction of where you are, while still keeping an eye on that horizon and being able to be happy with moving towards it, but being happy with where you're at now with what there is. And it's the celebrating of that journey of our learnings and our focusing on that growth that we're going for that I feel like deserves more of an applause. Because money, when I think about it now, it's not the end game. It's a tool meant to serve your values. It's spending on experiences that enrich your life, being able to invest in growth, supporting what matters to you, and having decisions not being based on scarcity, and being able to enhance your life quality, not just its quantity. So I didn't just stumble upon this personal philosophy for the best way for me to live my life randomly. No, I dug it up from deep, having to find a way to answer and find a way for me to be able to live my best self. It's by going through wisdom traditions such as Stoicism, Buddhism, utilitarianism, even Aristotelian virtues and ethics. I read a bunch of the different stuff, and I wasn't messing around over it. I was poring over these texts, engaging with the brightest minds, literally hiring private mentors to be able to go through this stuff. So take Stoicism, which it's not about piling up cash, but it's about knowing what you need, and it's probably not this gigantic number that might be in your mind right now. Well, that was my case. I thought I needed $1 billion to live a good life. It's not that much, to be perfectly honest. And when I was really thinking about it, I was really finding richness in the simplicity, and where that simplicity was bringing me that peace. Because then there's the Buddhism view, and if you've ever heard of the middle way, it's not about living like a monk or splurging like a king. It's about having enough money to dodge sufferings and to be able to stick with the Dharma or the moral path or what feels right to you, the life that you want to live. And I'll show you how Buddhism teaches us to let go of the material rat race and find peace in what we have. Utilitarianism looks at it in another way. It's a different beast. It's whatever maxes out joy for you and as many others as possible with where we need to look at. And I'll explore the balance of this and how we are able to bring this together. As where existentialism throws the rule book out of the window of enough, it's how we can actually dive into the things that best need to, say, give us a yardstick that might be set by society, but might not actually be the truest thing for us. And so when we think of the golden mean, the middle way, the virtue in moderation, with money, it means steering clear of being a Scrooge or a spendthrift. And it's being able to find out, well, what is it that is actually going to give you the life that you want? Have you gone through the thinking process? Have you done the experiments? Have you tried to sort it out for yourself? Or are you relying on what other people are saying and you're essentially just throwing to the wind the way that you should live your life by the opinions of others? As each philosophy brings out its own flavor to the table, but they all agree that enough isn't just a number, it's about what fulfills you ethically and spiritually. So if we dive into these and kind of like tear these conventional notions of wealth, it's really time to redefine enough, as this approach to money builds a more content life, easing off the pressure of what you need to be able to actually accumulate just for the sake of accumulation. And it's about ensuring our financial choices reflect our deepest priorities. By syncing our spending with our actual values, we'll then be able to craft out a life that has more meaning and not just in the possessions. Because remember, enough is a personal and ever-changing number or thing or yardstick or goal that you might be thinking of. It's about regular check-ins. It's about asking what enough means to you. It's pursuing a life that's not just full, but truly fulfilling. So if we circle back to where this began, that $7.95, it was just a number, but it was a milestone that really was a symbol of a journey that took us from the sun-kissed of Dubai to the serene beaches of Bali to the life that we are living now today. And so the story that I share with you is not just a narrative of financial success or what an entrepreneurial spirit can bring. I believe it's a testament to the quest of actually just wanting contentment in a world that constantly pushes us towards the next big thing. It's about understanding that happiness isn't a destination reached by accumulating wealth or status or possession. True happiness is found in the balance between ambition and contentment, in the pursuit of goals that align with our deepest values, and in the appreciation of life. There are our simple joys. From the struggles that had me from Sydney to the successes in Dubai and Bali, each of these different chapters was a journey that was like reinforced by a powerful lesson that I'm picking up now rather than in the time. I was too caught up in my own shit back then, to be perfectly honest. But the happiness level eventually returns to its baseline, no matter the shit that I had to go through or even the wins that I was able to attain as well. So this phenomenon of hedonic adaptation reminds us that the thrill of the new possessions, they're fleeting. And what we endure is the joy found in the meaningful relationships, the growth in ourselves, the experiences that shape our lives. So what does enough mean once we've covered this? As it's a deeply personal concept, one that evolves as we do. It's about finding satisfaction in where we are, even as we look to the future. It's about measuring success not by the yardstick of what others say and what society says, but through the fulfillment of our own values and desires. As we chase our dreams, let's not forget the actual enjoyment or at least the cherishment of the journey that we're actually on. As we try to practice mindfulness by embracing each moment for what it is, if we try and have a cultivation of gratitude and being thankful that we're actually here and experiencing this, if we try to recognize the appreciation of the things that we actually have, and if we can reframe our outlook to better understand that true success and happiness are found in peace and love and purpose rather than the material gains. In the end, for me, contentment is about living a life that resonates with my values, and it's about using money as a tool to enhance our life quality, not a goal in of it itself. It's about crafting the meaning rather than about having the things. Because remember, enough is not just about limiting our dreams and saying, oh, this is enough. I'm only going to live here. I'm not going to strive for more. No. I'm not saying that. It's about appreciating what we have and recognizing when we have achieved our own version of success, and that's a moving target as we evolve and as we grow. So don't just turn off to another episode. I want you to answer, what is your enough? It's the point of me sharing this today, is I have tried to do answering that question for myself. How can I align my ambitions with my values to create a life that is not just full, but truly fulfilling? The answers are the keys for us being able to have genuine contentment and enduring happiness. And that is what I genuinely want, yes, for myself, but that is what I genuinely want for you. If you've enjoyed this episode and it's vibed with you, then make sure that you hit subscribe, whether you're on the YouTube or on the podcast. And importantly, if there is any guests that you want me to have on the show, or specific questions or topics that you want me to be able to cover for you, simply put it into the YouTube comments or send me an Instagram DM. That way I can make sure you're getting the most out of actually being here.